Hi, in this week's video we're going to do an update on the tarot deck, see where I'm up to with that. I'll show you the finished stock exchange picture and I'll explain why we didn't leave Whitby to get to Newcastle. The dream to paint on the back of the boat continues, still not there yet. See you in a bit. So the way I go about doing the tarot deck is instead of just sort of painting whatever comes to mind, I go through a process. We're trying to stick to the Rider-Waite meanings for the cards. So the first thing I do is concentrate on the meaning of the card that I'm actually concentrating on that day. I'll look into it online, I'll read around it in the books that I've got. I've also got notes in books that I made when I was learning tarot myself. Got a couple here, just things that I found that really resonated with myself. So first thing I do is I go to the meaning of the deck, of the card that I'm looking for at that particular moment, read around it, really make sure I've got the meaning in my head and try and empathize with it. Then I'll do a meditation on that feeling, going to a place that I go in the meditation and just wait for an image to present itself, just asking for a theme like the cats, the dragons, and just see what presents itself. And I try and hold that in my head for when I go, come back, and then I immediately sketch it down really quickly. Like when I say quickly, they are just pretty much scribbles of what I saw in my meditation, and then from that I dwell on it a little bit, pad it out, decide the colour schemes and things like that, but they're more the art side rather than the actual image side. The image side comes from the meditation, and then making it recognisable to other people is the art side. Hope that makes sense. So that's how I go about each card. I'm just working on those one at a time. So these are the finished dragon images. Ace to 5, and 6 to 10. And here's the first 4 cat images. I'm sure there'll be many more to come. Here we are on another sunny day in Whitby. Weren't expecting to be, we were expecting to be on our way to Newcastle today. But as with all things to do with boats, you have little problems that come up, and this one was the engine wouldn't start. Then we worked out why, and as you'll see from this photograph, we had diesel bug. So what I'm going to do now is show you what we tried last night to where we actually found the diesel bug. The one thing we loved about this boat was the engine access. It's covered by this box here, and when you take the box off you can get to every single side of it, and the fuel tank is just at the back there. So when it didn't start, obviously it was turning over and it trying to start, so it was probably something to do with the fuel. So we changed the fuel filters, which we've never done before. It was quite interesting actually. We changed this filter, and then we primed the fuel system, bled the injectors, and it was what came out of this filter, which is the first one, that once it settled in the bowl and we had a look, it was like, oops, that's the problem we've got. So we're in Whitby a little bit longer, it's not that much of a problem. We knew there was just going to be things that needed doing. We came in with our eyes open, and everything we're doing we're learning loads from, so not a problem. Also gives me a chance to do a bit more Whitby painting, so I think I'm going to start the painting when I get home in the next couple of days. See you later. We're expecting to be sailing to Newcastle this weekend. We didn't have any transport from Whitby back home. We were planning on getting the train back from Newcastle, so we expected a rail journey of some kind. One thing I loved about the journey was the old rat-a-tat-tat of the wheels going over the joints in the rails. We went from Whitby to Middlesbrough, and it was a lovely journey.
We will shortly be arriving at Gill. If you are leaving the train here, mind the gap between the train and platform edge.
Then we were jam-packed onto the Trans-Pennine Express from Middlesbrough to Manchester Victoria. It was a whole different experience to the Whitby to Middlesbrough line. It wouldn't be our last unplanned journey, we were sure, and we look forward to making more plans to get our boat hauled out and sorted as soon as possible.
Questions and answers.
This week's questions and answers, the question's from Jackie. She's asking, what's the best piece of advice I've ever been given? It wasn't really a piece of advice, it was a recommendation, and it was a book by Jerry Saltz called How to Be an Artist. And in this book, he really allows you to think like an artist in the way it's not that he allows you. As an artist, you always want to be doing the right thing. Is this what it is to be an artist? Because there is nothing written down. And he basically says, there are no rules, keep pushing rules, keep changing boundaries. That's what it's about. And every time I read it, every time I read a little bit more of it or go back to it, I feel a little bit of inspiration to do a bit more. So the best piece of advice that I ever got given was to read How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. So that's the end of questions and answers. What I'm hoping to do now is, I really don't want this turning into a boat restoration channel. I'm definitely going to be carrying on with the painting. So I'm going to be mixing in the story of the boat, because the story is progressing. It's getting quite an interesting now. I'll be able to show you what's going on, but also do the painting as well. So you'll get to see a little bit what it's like trying to paint on a boat that's having lots of work done to it. We knew that it had a lot of work to be done to it. The plan was to do it in Whitehaven over winter next year. We had it all set up. We're going to come out for the hard for 3 months and work on the boat. But it doesn't work like that. Things get thrown in. So we're doing it, same jobs, different order. Simple as that. So I hope you come with us on the journey. And I am going to be still painting and drawing. I think now we've got a process in front of us, there will be more painting. So I'll see you next week and you'll find out a bit more. See you later. Bye. Mark. Bye.